Welcome to the Misbehaved Women podcast. You know me, I am your host, Donna Gonzalez, and I am thrilled to introduce my new co-host. You guys guessed it. I think the RBS gave it away. Jessica Penne.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this. So, for all of those at home who don't know who you are, which is crazy to me, would you like to give it a little introduction?
Well, my name is Jessica. I have been a mixed martial artist for going on 2 decades. I recently retired. Fought in the UFC for 10 years. I was on Tough 20, season of the Ultimate Fighter, Jiu-Jitsu black belt, judo brown belt, and lover of all things combat sports.
Love that. Welcome. Welcome. So let's start with your origin story. 20 years ago, I remember what it was like back then because I started around 18 years ago. What was it like walking into a gym? What made you walk into a gym and want to fight dude? Because there were definitely no women for you to train with back then. I know there were.
It took me a while to get into the gym. So I had played team sports my whole life, soccer, softball. And then on a whim, I tried out for the swim team when I was in high school. And I was like, wow, I love individual competition, being a part of a team, but then competing by myself. I really love that. So I started looking into other sports where I could compete in that kind of place. And wrestling was really appealing to me. But at that time, women were not really welcome to wrestle. There was an opportunity for me to be a stat girl and maybe train with the wrestlers. And there was one girl, I'll never forget, she pushed her way onto the team. She had the school sent petition and she made a really big deal out of it. And then I saw how challenging it was to compete against males. And I was like, I don't have that desire to compete against males. I would rather compete against females. So years later, I was at home and I saw Michael McDonald and Rufus competing in a Muay Thai fight. And in between the commercial break, I saw an ad for an LA Boxing, which is a cardio kickboxing and boxing gym.
Yes.
And I was completely in awe of these two men that were competing. Rufus had craziest hematoma on his thigh, and he ended up not answering the bell because he was just completely debilitated. But I was like, wow, I want to do.
Wait, who Rufus?
Rick Rufus. Or sorry, Duke Rufus.
Okay, so his brother, Rick Rufus, yes, is how I got my start in kickboxing.
Really?
Yes. So Rick Rufus used to have a gym in San Diego. No, we're in San Diego now. In Phoenix, Arizona. When my brother was in college at ASU, he started training kickboxing with Rick Rufus, and I would go visit him and take kickboxing classes with him.
Amazing.
That's what led me into combat sport.
That's incredible.
Isn't that funny?
I know. So I was going to Cal State Fullerton at that time, and there happened to be an LA Boxing right around the corner. So the next day, I went in and I started taking cardio, kickboxing, and boxing classes, and I was picking up on things really quickly, technically. And I was invited very shortly after to start, going to the pro early morning class.
You
So
got the
I got
invite.
the invite. And so I started showing up every morning at 6, and I would do runs and mitt work and, whatever else the pros were doing.
Yeah.
And I never thought that, I was going to be a professional fighter, but it was just the first time I had ever felt like really driven and had this like desire, because I had always competed in sports. I had always been good at sports, but I had never loved it before, if that makes sense. So it was the first time that I had felt that drive to do something. And I mean, I did it without question. I mean, literally showing up to gym every day at 6 a.m. And then soon enough, I started scheduling all of my classes around training. And I was driving back and forth 2 times a day to Mission Viejo to train at Apex with Jeremy Williams.
Yeah.
And I just started saying yes. They asked me, or do you want to fight? I was like, sure. I didn't know what that was.
Right.
I really had no idea what it was, what it meant. I just knew that what I was doing felt really good. And I mean, it slowly changed and transformed my life for the positive. I really had nothing going for myself. I was not doing well in college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be there. I had, as soon as I entered into this kind of different change in lifestyle, I separated myself from, people that I grew up with, people that weren't living healthy
Yeah.
lifestyles that I really had no business engaging with. And I just,
Do you remember the moment that you realized that this was your career and not a hobby? It was like what you were going to do with your life.
I really never thought about it like that. I didn't. I just knew it felt good and I was inspired and I couldn't imagine not doing it.
Mm,
At the time when I started, there were really no opportunities for females outside of kind of like one off
yeah,
fights on,
I remember that time.
male
Yeah.
dominated cards. And they're just, I didn't know what was possible. And I really didn't even care or think about it. I was just being very in the moment and enjoying what I was doing. And I never questioned it.
What was what was it like getting the phone call for Ultimate Fighter? And what was it like being there? Did you guys have any idea that you were making history in our sport?
I knew that we were making history. And the funny thing is, when I got the call, I got a personal call from Sean Shelby, who's the
Mhm.
UFC matchmaker. And I had known him, throughout my fighting. He was the original matchmaker for women in the UFC. Now he just does the men, and McMaynard has taken over for the females. But he reached out to me, and I was a 105er at the time. I had been competing at catch weights and at 115, never cutting weight. And I finally found my weight class, and that was 105. And I feel like that's where I was going to be the strongest and be able to accomplish the most.
Yeah.
And so when he proposed 115 to me, I turned it down. I was like, I am too small. I just found this weight class. I really want to build this weight class. He's like, are you sure? Like, again, I didn't know what a big deal it was. I didn't know it was possible. And I had been training at Ring Training Center, and there were a handful of, big name UFC fighters. And it came up in conversation that, this is what was happening and coming up. And I was talking to Cub Swanson at the time, and he looked at me and he said, you need to call him back right now.
Oh,
He's like, what is wrong with you? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you were just offered this amazing opportunity and you turned it down. He was like, you're stupid. Call him back and tell him that you want on. You don't understand what a big deal it is. He's like, not just being in that organization, but the opportunities, the amount of money, the potential, everything that could come from this. And I had never dreamt of this kind of situation. I didn't know what was possible. I never thought about it. I never questioned it. So I called Sean Shelby back. I said, hey, I made a mistake. And
just kidding.
he's like, I can't do it anymore. He's like, you turned it down and we bought out the contracts from Invicta and we have all the girls. He's like, you're going to have to try out. I was like, so I went and tried out. I got on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I remember watching those tryouts and being just absolutely in awe that this was happening, that it was even possible.
When I think I realized what a big deal it was when we were doing the pre-show production at Fox and doing all of like the filming, the videoing, and it just became real to me. I was like, oh man, this is actually a big deal.
Yeah.
This is huge. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. Now, being on the show itself was really hard for me because I'm extremely introverted. I'm a very private person, and I just I wasn't open in a way that one needs to be for reality TV. I did my best.
Yeah.
I did my best. I looked at it as a competition, while a lot of the other girls looked at it as an opportunity to brand themselves, to get their names out there. But I was doing it just to be part of the competition, and I really didn't want any distractions. So I was quite closed off.
That's an interesting conversation. Do you think, I don't think back then people realized how you have to separate the person from the brand as an athlete. I know as a coach, I'm working with that concept with a lot of my grapplers. Like there's you and there's you, the grappler, but you tell me you want to go pro. So now there's you, the professional athlete that we have to brand and we have to take all of that into account. Now you've had 20 years to look back on how the branding works and like what it means to become an actual business person and have yourself as a business? Have you do you feel like you've mastered the art of separating Jessica the person from Jessica the fighter brand?
I wish I had done a better job,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. I was really resistant and stubborn about being that person that put themselves out there and just market themselves. I had, I was the only female at my gym when I started at
Of
Apex,
course you were.
but there was a veteran. Her name is Debbie Purcell.
I know
And
Debbie. She used to always have matches against our first black belt, Kim Ferguson.
okay,
Yes.
so she big sistered me for a little bit, and I saw how she put so much into her marketing. And I mean, she would always get herself on the news. She would do this, she'd do that. And it kind of cringed me out. I thought it was really gross. I did. So
Because
I
you
was
didn't get
always,
it.
I did not understand it
Yeah.
because she literally hadn't competed in years and she's getting all this attention. And I just, what are you doing? I didn't realize how what she was doing was kind of ahead of her time and how important it was. I just wanting to focus on being an athlete because I started so late in life in my mind that I just really had to earn it
Yeah.
and put my nose down and focus on this because, you know, I was new to it and there had been so many women doing it for so long and I just felt like I was behind. So before I don't know, put myself in the spotlight, I felt like I had a lot of work to do.
Yeah. What's some advice that you would give to like the younger ladies coming up in combat sports right now?
It's a business. This is an entertainment sport. It's a business, and you really have to focus on it because even if you are extremely talented and you're winning, that's just part of it. It is way more important now to brand yourself and put yourself out there and get yourself the right opportunities. Let everybody see your personality. It's a huge, huge deal.
Yeah.
And I wish I hadn't been so resistant to it.
I mean, that's what happens when you're a pioneer, right? There was literally nobody to teach you that. I mean, Debbie, but like Debbie also figured it out herself. There were no Jessica Pennies that people could look up to. There was no Ultimate Fighter that you could watch and be like, okay, I want to do that. I don't want to do that. There were no women that you could model yourself after. I've experienced that. I'm not definitely not on the same level as all the ladies who are like professional fighters, but there was no roadmap for me to become a coach, to become like, I was like, I want to become relevant in the sport of grappling, and I'm really not that good and I'm old. I'm just going to figure it out.
I I hate like that those are the internal conversations though, because I mean they're not real.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people I know I've had a lot of those kind of conversations where I've put myself down or I've like come up with roadblocks as to why I can't do things or why this, why that. And I mean, I made it true. I kind of manifested it for myself. I made it more difficult than I needed to by having those kind of conversations. And I think that this sport for women now is just, it's so wide open. And women like you, women like me, women, you know, that have come before us have really paved the way and like opened the doors for us.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting conversation to have with people. And I think it leads to a bigger conversation that we've maybe been talking about in combat sports. And I'm going to make a big, like, blanket statement. It was the wild, wild west for like 25 years, right? There was no regulating body. There was nobody keeping anybody in check. It was just a bunch of bros that wanted to fight each other. And so there was no standard to live up to other than be a good fighter. You know what I mean? People didn't care if they were gym storming. If you don't know what a gym storm is, like somebody would just walk into a gym and like challenge everybody in the gym and like see if they could beat everybody. And, you know, but now we're getting to a place where gyms are viable businesses and you've got gyms with like hundreds and hundreds of people in them. And the owners have to now be professional and think about, oh, I have children training with me and I have to behave a certain way. And it's not the bros living their life however they wanting to with nobody to answer for. And there's a huge shift that happened in the last couple of years. A lot of allegations have come out, and those are important to address. But I think the explanation to how we came to that place is because there was nobody regulating it before. And I've been saying for years that as more women get black belts, as more women come into leadership roles in our sport, we are the ones that are going to start holding everybody accountable for these behaviors that nobody was holding them accountable for. What's your take on that from now that you are retired and you're on the more promotion side and you're on the more business side of MMA? What's your take on all of that?
When I first started training, there was this thing that had just happened in an affiliate gym. It's like I'm weird talking about this, but it happened.
Yeah.
And it is happening. But there was a story going around, and it's a true story, and it involved Erica Montoya and Chris Brennan. And this is a married man, a high-level athlete, black belt, pioneer in MMA, and he had a relationship with a 16-year-old Erica Montoya. And
how did that play out?
The parents got involved after they caught them at the gym. And I mean, she was competing at such a high level. She was a very young, promising black belt. She was competing in Abu Dhabi when I first started training. She was one of those, pioneers, those figureheads in the sport. And I was, taking notice and really excited. And it was very clouded by, and I don't know that, I mean, she didn't recover within the sport, obviously, like she's not competing anymore. And I think that he ended up moving to Texas with his family and starting over again. And I know that he's still attached to the sport. And I don't think anybody talks about that. I think there are a lot of stories now that people know about. And, there's whispers about, but this stuff happened back then and it's still happening now. The difference is social media.
You think that's what made the big difference?
I think so.
Okay. I like it.
I think that social media has made a big difference. People cannot hide from things. Things spread like wildfire. And I also think that it is women becoming more empowered in the sport and talking and supporting each other and creating a safe space for people to share their stories.
Yeah, that's true. Because in the past, if you came forward with an allegation, it's like, you leave the gym.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
That it has ruined females' reputations for being put in situations that they never should have been in.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that had to move and uproot and deal with stigmas. And the men can just...
I think that's one of the burdens that women have always had to carry, right? We're the ones that most of the time are the victim. And yet it falls on us to create the distance or whatever, like be responsible for it when we aren't even the perpetrator. It's gross. I know. It's gross. But I think that's why, at least in my opinion, and with the power that I have, the tides have to be shifting, because what else are we going to do? You know what I mean? Women deserve a seat at the table. Women deserve to be respected. We bring just as much to this sport as anybody else. And there's no reason that any of us shouldn't be accountable for all of our actions.
Male or female.
Male or female.
Absolutely.
That's what all of us should be accountable for our actions. And if you can't maneuver through society in a way without like causing harm to another person, then maybe you don't deserve, I don't care how talented you are, then maybe you don't deserve to be in the spotlight and celebrated for whatever reason.
I agree. It's a strange thing, especially with the climate now in the San Diego grappling scene.
Yeah.
There's a lot of allegations going on, and as a female, I tend to believe the female, or at least give an ear and wait to see what happened instead of like throwing judgment out first.
I agree with you. I have a personal rule of always listening to women when they give me their stories. And the other thing is, if a lot of people have very similar stories, I think that speaks volume. You know what I mean? One person, okay, all right, let's see how it goes. Maybe it's your interpretation, my interpretation, whatever. And I think the younger the person is making the allegations, the heavier the weight of that allegation obviously should be. And then the more stories that come out regarding that, backing up the allegations, there's probably something to it. You know what I mean? If 20 people accuse one person of something, there's a pretty good chance most of them are telling the truth, if not all.
I tend to.
Yeah, totally. But you also have to let everybody have their day in court and whatever. But that doesn't mean you have to accept it. Doesn't mean you have to let them just run rampant continually. And the cool thing about where we're at in our sport right now, especially like people who are paying customers at a gym or wherever, you don't have to give people your money if you don't align with their values.
Very true.
There's that. You know what I mean? You don't have to pay people for private lessons. You don't have to pay them to be a member of their gym. Your money speaks volume, especially as much as we're all paying to train these days.
Yeah, it's not cheap. I got really used to not having to pay. Well, I mean, I would have to pay, but it was always,
So, yeah,
at the end when I got paid. So it's a different life I'm living now.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky that I got some discounts, but I still paid. I remember when we moved gyms, and I was like, "That's what I was paying." I went back and looked, and I was like, "Oh, that is what I was paying." It's my bad.
The first gym that I was training at, I used to clean the bathrooms for.
Man, the amount of
my
people that I have, if everybody who offered to clean my bathrooms in exchange for memberships, I'd have the cleanest bathrooms on earth because they would just be a constant.
It was a different time. It was a very different time.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be interesting how our sport unfolds, both sides of it, MMA, jiu-jitsu, because people will not be able to use their position of power to hold things over people's heads for too much longer. Voices are getting louder. There's going to be options. There's more options for people. Back in the day, there were only so many places you could go train, especially if you wanted a certain coaching and you wanted a certain level of training partners. So you put up with a lot. That's not okay. Like, throw a stick. Go outside. We're in San Diego. Throw a stick. See how many jiu-jitsu gyms you hit. You know what I mean? It ain't hard to find really high level grappling to go train it.
Not at all. I mean, same for MMA, especially, San Diego, Orange County, LA. It's just like this whole state up and down the coast is a complete hotbed.
I know.
For combat sports. And I mean, it's spreading throughout the states that you can get all types of different training. And I love that there's opportunities for people that just want to get in shape. I love that there's opportunities for people that want to be competitive and, go the professional route. It's amazing. Again, I didn't even dream of things that were possible. I was just trying to live in the moment and do what felt good and what inspired me. And I think it's amazing. I mean, I didn't have female on the mats when I started training. And I think that was an amazing thing that happened from The Ultimate Fighter. One, I have lifelong friendships that I got from being on that show, but it was the first time that I had really ever kind of embraced like the girl power.
Yeah.
I think it was really amazing. I know that we were there and we were competing against each other for the same thing, but it was the first time I had been in the room or in a house with so many females that had similar stories, mindset, attitudes. It was really cool. I was disappointed with the direction that editing and production took. I think that they went for the low-hanging fruit when they encouraged the drama and the editing stuff. Yes, there was drama. There was always going to be drama. Sure. You didn't need to manufacture it. And I was disappointed when I saw, the show come out, what they did with the footage that they had, to be honest. I think that they could have really made it more empowering and uplifting rather than going the traditional parts of drama on reality.
Was there any female presence on the production side?
There was one.
Okay.
Yeah, there was one producer, but it was mostly men.
I was in Hollywood for a long time, but it doesn't surprise me. If you're like, they always want the low hanging fruit. There's a phrase that I'm trying to remember, the lowest common denominator, right? Because the more sophisticated, the more uplifting, the nicer you make the story, the less people seem to get involved with it, which is so gross. But like, that's literally what reality TV is.
I mean, I do like me some Real Housewives.
My trash.
I don't want to be on reality TV anymore, but I'll watch it. It's not my drama.
My guilty pleasure of watching trash people interact with each other is the Love After Lockup.
Oh my God, I used to watch it. It wasn't airing for a while, so I
Yeah.
got, out of the loop with it, but I
Yeah.
heard it's bad.
It's back. I mean, I'm not like super entrenched in it, but I'll watch it enough and I may go to Reddit every once in a while and like read some Reddit threads about it.
I don't go to Reddit. Reddit's a dark place.
I will take Reddit over YouTube comments any day.
Are they bad?
God, YouTube comments is where the worst people on earth live.
Really? I thought that was Twitter.
Oh, I deleted that a
Twitter's
long
a
time ago
dark
too.
place.
Yeah,
It's a
Twitter
deep, dark
is a
place.
really deep, dark place. But YouTube commenters, what do yourselves? Don't you have anything better to do?
No, they don't. You know what? When I was getting out of the Ultimate Fighter house, it was I fought on the last day. I
Mhm.
made it into the semifinals. And when we were packing up and getting ready to go back out into the real world, a bunch of the UFC management came
Mhm.
in and had conversations with us, made sure we all had Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and then talked to us about, listen, you're going out on the town after being locked up for 7 weeks. Like, if you guys get in trouble, we're the first call you make. And I was like, oh,
Because you guys were all like 20 at the time, right?
I mean, I was older. I was 32.
Okay.
But yes, there were a lot of 20
So babies. I mean, sending 20-year-olds out with a little bit of money and in Vegas, and you've been cooped up for a couple weeks. Like what are you setting up?
Exactly. I mean, for the most part, everyone would. I think they were used to a lot of the male cast members who actually really did get themselves in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah.
But one of the more memorable conversations that they had with us was, you want to be polarizing. You want people to either love you or hate you.
Fair enough.
It is, at that time, it was, really being focused on becoming an entertainment sport. That was around the time that Conor McGregor was starting to get really popular.
I
For
have
all of
so many
his
thoughts on him.
antics. I have a lot too. I just got back from filming a show in Ireland, and they don't even say his name. No,
Go on.
they're tired of his shenanigans. I think that when people are repeatedly rewarded for bad behavior,
Mm-hmm.
it starts changing them.
Oh, for sure.
It does something to their mind, and they believe that they're untouchable, and then at some point you're going to realize that are actually human, and you can't keep getting bailed out. Like, it eventually will keep up to you.
Yeah. I think he is the perfect example of what happened when combat sports went, like, he was the tipping point of going commercial, of going mainstream, because go talk to any casual MMA fan who
Conor McGregor.
yeah, oh, best fighter ever having that.
No. With the UFC, they will go for people that test well, and then they will build them for as long as they can.
Marketing.
So yes, and they will give him or her. They will give them opportunities that are more tilted in their favor, but to make it look compelling. Yeah, and they will guide them on this path as long as they can until they can't anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my whole point. Like, the people that go ask the casuals, not us nerds who were gonna watch hours of it and like, did you see his thumb was turned up when he did the blah, blah, blah? You know what I mean? Like, we're such a small community of people that like give a shit about like super deep technique. But go watch the people who watch it at like Buffalo Wild Wings, and they're gonna be like, best fighter ever, and you're like, he's not. He's just the best marketed fighter.
Yes,
He's not bad. He's a good fighter.
No, he was super talented, but the matchups he was getting
were set up. It's all entertainment.
Yes, and I'm not saying rigged. I saw after MVP, I saw it was rigged. I was like, no, but that fight was never ever going to go in any other fucking way.
What about the Texas? No, I agree with you. I felt like a trucker, so if they let me talk about that. I agree with you. That's why I sent Jessica a text message before the MVP fight, and I was like, do you think that there would ever be shady contracts where they would, like, I don't know, pay Rhonda not to armbar her in the first 30 seconds? Because anybody who understands technique, and whether you're a fan of those, and I feel like any woman who's into combat sports is going to be a fan of both of those ladies just for being the pioneers that they were. We love that.
Yeah.
But anybody who understands fighting knew that even at the apex of where Gina was ever able to rise to, she was never going to match Ronda's talent at her apex because that's a move that she's been embedding in her gene since she could walk. You know what I mean? So like that was always going to happen. Of course it was. And that's not to say like now think about the apex of Ronda. And there's the ladies that surpassed her in being well-rounded in the sport, right? That's why she's not. Well, that's why she's retired. I mean, there's a million reasons why she's retired, but like that's why her career trajectory went the way that it did. She had amazing fight and she showed her talent and the thing that she was amazing at. But I think that we saw the limit of where her progress hit. That's not to say I'm not a fan. That's not to say she wouldn't destroy the fuck out of me and protect. But you know what I mean? It's objective.
It is. It made me happy to see, two women get to this huge place in their lives where they're so recognizable, their household names. Like again,
And we love that for them.
I never thought that was possible.
Yeah.
Gina broke open the door, and Rhonda, made it evolve. She made it progress. She made everyone take notice.
Yeah.
I think all women in these big organizations, I think we have to,
give them their props. 100%.
Absolutely. But that fight was never going to go a different way than it went.
Of course
it wasn't. And I think I have a lot of mixed feelings about MVP as a show, and they're one of those. I think there's been such a progress in MMA as a sport, and I want to keep seeing that progress. So when a show like MVP comes on and they kind of make it spectacle, I feel protective of the sport, and I try to look at it in two ways. Okay, one, they are really good at making entertainment, and I have to appreciate it for that. It just gets frustrating because I've been a competitive athlete for most of my life, and it's a really tough sport, and they're doing this weird entertainment thing with it, something that I've never really.
But do you think that the sport can ever be pure and be entertaining? Right? Because think of it. We want people to watch our sport. But again, like unless you're super interested in the nuance of the techniques, it's not going to be exciting without the spectacle.
Yeah. And I think that's why the build up to a fight, the selling of a fight has become such a huge thing. It's almost sometimes it's more entertaining than the actual fight.
Yeah. I mean, credit to Ronda for being like a entertaining wrestler for the last couple of years because of her promo leading up to this fight. Best fight that's ever happened in the history of fight. Girl, no, you're gonna armbar her super quick.
I know she is definitely well rehearsed, and she takes her job promoting fights very seriously, and that's what really progressed her in the sport for so long. I did not like the way she promoted this fight. I thought it gave Mean Girl vibes. And while I'm a huge fan of her and I do like watching her, it was really hard for me to get behind a lot of the.
I think she understands that Mean Girl sells more than anybody does.
I know. It's just not my personal cup of tea.
I mean, I've been a fan of your. You know this story. I watched Ultimate Fighter and I watched all you ladies so much that I forgot that you did not know me back. And the first time I ever saw you in public, I was like, "Was that Jess?" And you were like, "Hi."
I just really interpreted it.
It was weird. It was weird. Also, that's when I was hosting my other podcast, Bat Therapy, and like I don't know, maybe I assumed everybody knew who I was. I don't know, but I do remember seeing you and Angie out, and it like hit me later. I was like, "Oh, they don't know me." Yeah,
we do now.
You do now.
Yeah, it's just
So what kind of promoter were you as Jessica the Fighter? You were not. What would you do differently if you don't want to be a mean girl? How would you promote yourself today?
I would try to put myself out there in my most authentic way, because I think authenticity is what people really gravitate toward. So again, going back to McGregor, people saw a blueprint. They saw a path to success by doing what he was doing, but that was for him. And people have tried to replicate it, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
It falls flat.
No, that was
it
actually who, like, it was authentic to him. It might have been obnoxious to a lot of people, but it was absolutely
He
authentic.
just amped up the volume.
Yeah.
But he can live in that personality type, and it tracks. Like, that's
For sure.
that's who he is. I use Daniel Cormier and John Jones a lot in this one because they were both kind of trying to be like the good guy.
You think John Jones was trying to be the good guy?
He was trying back in the day. He
Okay.
was trying to, practice his Christian values and this and the other. And then he came out when they were promoting. Was it their second fight? One of their fights.
It was one of their fights where, like, the mics were. Is that what
Yes.
you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, see, that's who he is.
Well, and then
That's
all
where
the
he
things that he was doing outside of training.
Yes. And I mean, he couldn't promote himself or try and curb the public opinion of himself anymore.
Yeah.
He just had to, like, let it ride.
Yeah.
I see you don't agree with me, but
No, I think that he should have been the heel all along.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't.
Well, no, actually, the face I think I was making was Cormier.
Cormier is also a heel. He plays this, like, politician guy, and it's not.
It came off as him trying too hard. I remember.
Yes.
Again, nobody was watching it, but this is not my first MMA-based show. This one. So one of my other shows, I called my co-host one day. His name's Rich Slayton, and I was like, I really want to like Cormier. I'm a fan
he's a
of the way he
politician.
fights. I don't understand why I can't.
That's why.
Yes,
He's a politician. Nobody likes politicians.
yeah.
They put on whatever face they need to connect with whoever they need to get the vote. I think when he started kind of shedding that, and I still think he plays the part on the broadcast and all that stuff, but I think that when he started kind of, like, letting that go just a little bit, he became a lot more palatable for people.
Yeah, you're right. Authenticity it's the thing that anybody is going to buy in on, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, he may not be the most, like, brash, loud, outspoken, big character, but I mean, nobody in the world is always like that.
Yeah.
There's somebody for everyone. There's a niche.
I always
Yeah,
say that.
for
I might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I am the right people's shot of tequila.
Damn straight.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? Like, those people who love me, people who want to be in, like, my offering, whatever that is, like, it works for them. And if you're not, then it doesn't.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who is your favorite fighter?
My favorite.
Oh, Charles Oliveira.
Why? I just love him. He's an animal lover. He's a jiu-jitsu fighter. He has evolved his game, but stayed true to himself. And I think he's just so likable. He's not huge and outspoken. He's very humble. I'm a huge fan of him.
Love that.
Yeah.
Can I talk a little bit about Team Coven? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Advice. How did you guys, for those of you guys that don't know, and nobody should, because it's chat. But there is a group of ladies in San Diego, MMA ladies, that you guys all trained together. And you guys all came from different teams and decided to all, like, band together and train together and created this really beautiful community that I don't think a lot of women experienced before you guys put that together. And when Angie added me into that chat, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't think I belong in here, but this is amazing. I love being in here. And I'm a fan and friends with so many of those ladies. And it's really beautiful to, like, watch you guys coordinate around everybody's fights and coordinate around the training to, like, whoever has the fight, you guys all band behind her and, like, make her camp happen. And you guys kind of created your own team, which is just really beautiful. What happened? How did that happen? Was it intentional? It was because you guys didn't have other female training partners? How did it come about?
I think we took kind of the same energy from being in The Ultimate Fighter and just understood that there is so much value in females training with females. Because most of us had only trained with males. I had amazing supportive training partners when I first started, but they had to be, like, nice to me.
Yeah, it's different.
I was super tiny and I didn't have like the level of experience that they did, but they really helped me a lot. And after we were on the Ultimate Fighter, a handful of us came down to San Diego and joined Alliance MMA. It shut down. And so after that kind of shutdown and COVID happened and all that stuff, we just realized that we needed to regroup. We had enough numbers, but we were all at different gyms, and we just saw an opportunity to support each other. And Angela really led that. She really did. She's very, I mean, she's introverted, but she's also like,
And she's
very
introverted?
She's introverted, but she's also like extroverted. She can really step into that, and
Her professional side, I think.
professional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's just very outgoing in that kind of way. And when we all kind of decided to leave Alliance and form our own thing and kind of outsource training, is when that really evolved into Team Coven.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I love that you guys all go corner each other, and like you guys really are a team. That's really cool.
No, it's very cool. It's very unique. That happens now under the roof of these large MMA gyms. But I think it's very rare for, women from other gyms that can potentially be competitive with each other to reach out and band together.
Yeah. I've tried to create that within the grappling world a little bit. I throw a lot of events, the Women's Grappling Club, and I intentionally did not align it with a team. Obviously I'm 10th Planet, but I make these events because I want women to come together. Like that chat was so inspiring to me that I was like, I have to be able to do this in jiu-jitsu and bring together girls who are probably going to compete against each other. But if we can all train together, because you cannot replicate having a female body. I remember the day that I went to my first female open mat, and in my head, I was so prepared for that because I'd only ever trained with the guys at HQ and a few of the female training partners that I had. And I went and rolled with girls for the first time, and I was like, oh, you guys have been holding back on me. You guys were being nice to me. Whoa. My bad.
Yeah, it can be kind of shocking. The first time I ever competed, I had just been training with men. And again, I'm like 112 pounds soaking wet. Like, I am teeny tiny. And it was at, what was that, like a Naga or one of those OTM kind of tournaments. And I competed. There were one or two females in my weight class. I broke a girl's arm.
I believe it.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so strong because I've been building these big bodies. I have never said that. I am not strong.
All right, you are very strong. I've rolled.
It's like, my coach and my teammates were like, makes sense.
I love that. It is a Naga, and you're like, give me my sword.
It was hilarious. And then, other times I'd show up to tournaments and they'd be like, you want to do open? I'm like,
or they show up, and it's like a woman like in the 200-pound weight class. They're like, you guys have both vaginas. You guys could like be in the same bracket.
No, thank you.
Best 2 out of 3. Every tournament I had for like the first 3 years was just best 2 out of 3 because it's just the two of you.
No thanks.
Yeah. I did get the opportunity to compete against Ronda Rousey when I was a white belt. Didn't know who she was. Well, here's the story. So it was Grappling X. It was Grappling X on Valentine's Day, 2009, something like that, 2008, 2009. And Sean Powell comes over and he goes, hey, are any of you ladies interested in going up a weight class and an experience level? We're like a bunch of white belts. We were all like, no, what, huh? And he goes, full disclosure, I have to tell you, I have a girl who needs competitors, but she's a bronze medalist in judo from the Olympics.
No, Sean, fuck off.
Yeah, we were like, no, thank you, but can we go watch? So we all like walked around the mat, and Rhonda, this is before like the world at large knew who she was, is standing in the middle of one of the mats, pacing back and forth like a fucking hungry lion, just waiting for them to feed her somebody. Now I'm saying I just done it because I would have gotten my arms broken so fast. But then I would have been able to be like, yeah, I competed against Ronda Rousey.
No, thank you. No, you're not to pay for that.
My arm would have probably still been broken, but it's fun.
That's stupid. Sean Fowler, by the way, I've known him for a very long time.
Same.
he reached out to me one time. This is many, many moons ago. And he was like, hey, can you make 125? I was like, I was doing
You're like,
catch
how
weights
many
at
burritos
110.
should I eat?
I was doing catch weight. I have never hit 120 before. And I was like, yeah, no. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for a opponent for Cat Albert. And I was like, that cat thing gonna.
Oh, yes.
I was like,
no.
no, I am tiny.
Very bustly. Like a superhero.
I'm noticing a pattern with him. I used to like him, but I feel like he's
Sean.
just, yeah, JD Sean. Weird.
He lost to me not too long ago. We were at the ADCC Open, and it was qualifiers. And this dad was being an absolute just dick kid. He yelled at his kid for winning because he didn't get a submission. He won by point. And like every person around there was like, go over to Sean, and I couldn't think. I was like, this fucking, like, you need to kick him over for unsportsmanlike conduct. And he was like, are you serious right now? And I was like, yes. Go.
Did he?
No, but enough people. I don't know what happened later because enough people complained about the guy. But he was like unsportsmanlike conduct on it, and I was like, yes, exactly.
You're funny.
I know. I'm like, if he never, I'm gonna cuss him out because everybody's scared of the little 5'1" lady. But whatever,
They should be.
they really should be.
They should be.
They should be. So, how's your dating life?
Oh, it is an experience. So I've really, okay, I'm not interested in dating apps. I never was.
Okay.
But
How else are you gonna meet somebody?
exactly.
If I
So
did.
it was proposed
Yeah.
to me that way. I'm like, I stay at home. I go ride my horses. I take my dog out. I don't like going to bars or clubs or anything like that. So I just
Plus, you're a grown up,
I'm
so
a
like,
punk.
where are you going to meet another grown up?
exactly. Like I grew up on Disney fairy tales. Like
They'll find me. Fly him. Someday my power.
And then one of my friends was like, please let me put you on a dating app. I was like, no, I don't want to. They're like, you don't have to do anything. Just I'll make the profile for you.
What dating app did they put you on?
So years ago, before COVID, they put me on Hinge.
Okay.
And I was on there for 5 months, and I met people who didn't look like who they
Lion.
Yeah. I was like, these pictures are way older than you should have pictures up on your profile for. So I got off. I was like, I'm done with this. I was like, this is really stupid. Fine. I'll just be single for the rest of my life. It's fine. And then fast forward, I was off for many, many years. I only went on one for a little bit. And then another friend was like, hey, I met somebody on this app. You should do this too.
Okay.
I'm like, no.
Wait, are you on the celebrity one?
I'm on Raya.
The celebrity one.
Yeah. And then I'm on the League.
Okay. Oh, I've heard about the League.
So it's stupid.
Okay.
It's
Fair
stupid.
enough.
So it's linked to your LinkedIn.
Okay.
So that's supposed to be like the background check. But I have found out through being on this app that you can be on it and not pay for it, which by the way, it's stupid expensive.
Do they think that's the filtering process that
Yes.
they charge you and all?
Yes.
Okay.
But then there's a free version. And I was realizing that there's a free version of this.
That's where everybody is. Wait, so do you think guys are afraid to slide into their DM?
I don't know.
Do guys slide into your DM?
Do you want to see my DMs?
I mean, are they full of dick pics?
No.
Every once in a while, I get a dick pic, and I'm like, all right, you know I know your coach, right? You don't get.
So I don't get that many people in my Instagram DMs, but also I really don't look into those general request kind of boxes like that stays into the void.
Sure.
Every once in a while, I'll get this notification that I have a message, and then I'm like, I have no messages, and then so I'll go into the void.
Sure.
And then I'll find
and
something.
they're scary.
And I've gotten a handful of pics, like not as many as you would think.
I would think there would be a decent amount.
I think that there'd be more, but there aren't. No. Usually people talk to me about my feet. Usually
Could
people
charge for that.
Exactly. Yeah, no.
I've thought about. I have really sweaty feet. Like
There's a market for that.
I know.
You can
And I
make
don't
money.
want to talk to people.
You
Like,
can
I'll
make
just give you
money.
the pictures. I don't want to talk to you.
You can make money.
Pay me for them.
Just say. I mean, you're
Like, my feet will drips. Like, so sweaty. It's so weird. Like, I'm like a gecko or something. That's
I have to see this now. We're gonna make some videos.
well, they're not sweaty right now, but like if sometimes when I'm teaching, you'll see like little footprints just all the way across the mess.
Donna Gecko footprint.
Yeah. It's the whole thing.
Interesting.
Anyway.
I feel like
I'm charging for I will charge you. Do not ask me for them.
I feel like we're missing out on some money.
You know.
Donna, we can talk about that.
But it's called the Misbehaved Women Podcast.
We need to talk more about that.
Okay, so you're on the dating app. I specifically did not watch your story the other day because you said you got catfish. So we can use code names. I need good nicknames, but I need to hear the story.
I don't care. I'll out these people. I don't care. I was just trying to make it short enough for a video, but we can.
But I did watch it because I wanted to have a real reaction.
Okay, so, and I have a lot of stories, but this specific one with the catfish. So, I can see when people like me.
Sure.
And then so I'll go and I'll like them back. And this one in particular, he just looked like the guy that I would not attract.
Do you have a type?
I do ish. Usually a little like rougher around the edges. I clean up well.
You do.
But I don't live like that all the time. I usually have dirt under my fingernails.
Okay.
Yeah, tangles in my hair.
Tomboy.
Yeah, I am a tomboy. I always have been. And so I was looking at this guy and I was like, yeah, this is kind of weird. I don't think that this is the type of guy that I would like attract, especially like the pictures I put on. I'm very outdoorsy in my pictures. So I started talking to him and I just felt like something was kind of off. And he said that he lived in LA and he went to this school and blah, 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 blah. I was like, I just don't get that vibe from him. And it started like bothering me.
Okay.
And we didn't have like pages of chats or anything like that on the dating app. So it's like, I'm going to screenshot it. I'm going to do an image search on Google search. So
Go on.
Because these pictures looked very polished. They looked like they would be on an Instagram.
Okay.
Because they were like filters. And I was like, what kind of man uses filter?
A certain kind.
A certain kind. So I was like, okay. Again, I'm trying to remain open. I'm not trying to judge.
Sure.
But something was bothering. So I put it into Google and sure enough, I get a link to an Instagram page. And I go on this Instagram page and I'm looking and I'm like, it kind of looks like him, but it kind of doesn't. And I was like, these pictures, I mean, he just looked different in them. So I just keep scrolling down. And then there's like pictures of him in Speedo next to a man. And this man appears like very frequently in his feed. And then I go back up to the top and it says Portugal, married. It tags his husband.
What?
So I'm like, okay, he wasn't catfishing me, but somebody was using this man.
Photos.
And the more I scrolled, I finally found those pictures.
Yeah. Did you call him on it?
I just said, listen, I know this isn't you. I know these aren't your pictures. I'm reporting you. Goodbye.
That's very nice. Because you could fuck with him.
No, I don't have time for that.
I don't know. You could bring your phone onto the and we could fuck with people.
Oh, we could totally. Yeah. I have another guy who I was like, these pictures seem very curated. I haven't made a post about this, so we can just do it now. So this guy looked cute. He looked like kind of European, like I mean, like polished European.
Do you play the game gay or European?
Yeah. The other one just looked gay.
Fair.
The other just looked gay.
Turns out he was.
But these pictures just seemed very curated, like professional kind of photographs taken. And so I put those into Google. Nothing came up. I put them in ChatGPT. I was like, are these fake? Are these AI generated? They're like, no, but I know what you're talking about. It looks pretty curated. So I go,
I love ChatGPT. It's like, girl, I get it.
Yeah. No, me and ChatGPT are best.
Yes. Same.
Yeah. So I'm on this. And I'm talking a little bit, and then I start seeing like his responses just seemed like ChatGPT. Like there were dashes in that.
Okay.
There were dashes.
Did you get that? Honestly, that. I'm gonna tell you this.
We're using my phone to record. I wish I could bring. But so I'm talking and it just seems like very curated. And I'm like, okay, maybe, he's trying hard. He ended up saying he was from the Czech Republic. I was like, okay, maybe he's using assistance. Then he started talking about star signs. And I was like, all right, this motherfucker
That sounds like a girl.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not, this is something. And then he asked me, he said, hey, would you want to text instead? And I was bored.
No,
I was actually bored. No, I was actually bored and I was having a few glasses of wine.
Okay. Go on. Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'll have fun with this one because this just seems. So it ends up being a WhatsApp. And I'm like, okay, for sure. Like anytime they go to WhatsApp, like something about that. So I put his number because I wanted to do a shoe people search with his number. So I did that and then nothing came up. No name, no background. I was like, okay, this is definitely catfish. So I'm talking to him for a little bit. And then I realized that I go back because I wanted to reference something from his profile. He deleted it. But blocked me. So on the league, if you can expire the match and you can still see the conversation. Sure. But if they block you, then it's gone. Oh, yeah. And so I was like, okay, that's weird. So I asked him about it. And he's like, oh, I would, rather focus on our conversation. I was like, no, really strange. Okay, cool. And then we talk a little bit more and he starts asking me all this stuff. And I tried to ask him, I was like, oh, hey, do you have social media? He's like, no. He's like, after my wife died of leukemia, I deleted all my social media.
No, liar.
I was like, what? Wait, okay. So I was like, well, that's kind of strange to me because on the league, it links to your LinkedIn. He's like, no, I deleted my LinkedIn too. And in his line of work, he definitely needs a LinkedIn.
Yeah, because LinkedIn is too much social interaction. What?
No, so he said that he worked for this big company. Okay. And then he quit that. He left. Everything changed after his wife died. And he needed to start his own business, or he was inspired to start his own business. I'm like, okay, so you would really need LinkedIn. And then he gets he switches on me and he's like, I know what you're trying to do. He's like, I am not playing into your little immature games, your childish games, blah, 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 blah. Good luck to you.
Good day, sir. I say good day.
I was like, okay, bye.
Oh, winky face. Oh my God, dating is so hard.
It's so stupid.
I remember, so I've been married for a minute, but I remember I'm so old, but pre-apps, I was on the website. And I remember going on one, and it was single. And I went on a date with this guy who lied about his age. And as the date went on, I was like, how old are you? Yeah. I was 28 at the time. And so at 28, 40 is ancient. And I just remember being like, my dude, you told me you were in your 20s. And he was like, yeah, but it's okay. And I was like, it's really not.
It's not. How old was he?
40.
Oh.
Old liar. It was such a weird date. So he spent the entire time talking about himself and his story. He had a slightly interesting story. His ex-wife took his kid across international borders, and he went to great lengths to find his daughter. Fine. Cool. Whatever.
Real?
That's what he says. Anyways, he spent the entire time talking about, and I'm talking we went to multiple bars and locations. We went to meet up with his friends. Never once did this man ask me a question about myself. Talked about himself the whole time. At one point, I was done with the date, but it was so bad that I just remember being like, I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see how bad it gets.
Yeah.
Oh, it got bad. It got so bad. He gave his number to another woman on the date.
In front of you?
In front of me. And then said, he turned around and looked at me. He goes, you're just going to have to get used to stuff like that happening. And I was like, oh, am I? Oh, okay. So at that point, a friend had joined us at the table that we were at, and he got up to use the bathroom, and the friend looked at me and he goes, he's never going to see you again, is he? And I was like, no, but I'm going to wait this out because this is amazing. What? So yeah, gave somebody else a story, never asked me, would not shut the fuck up the whole time about himself. At the point that his age was revealed, I was like, so you lied this whole? And he was like, yeah. Then I called him on it. Like, I was like, well, I'm going to go home, but I just, I want you to keep in mind that you have not asked me anything about myself in these last few hours that we spent together. Do you know what this man said to me? He looked me in my face and he was like, yeah, because like, I don't need to like figure out what shoe size I wear. I already know what shoe size I wear.
What?
He didn't need to talk to me. He didn't need to find out anything about me because he already decided that like I was the right whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't miss dating. I don't miss
Stay where
dating.
it's safe. It's stupid out here.
So stupid.
Yeah. So after that, like the first catfish, I decided to have fun with it.
Please go on.
Okay. So another one that I had. And this is
Wait,
so
what are all these fuckers catfishing you? Like, do they know who you are? Is it they're like, I'm gonna fuck with the MMA fighter?
some people recognize me
Sure.
or
Mhm.
they recognize me, or then they'll like take whatever information and
Okay.
look at me because it's on my LinkedIn or it's on my Instagram. Like you can very easily see. So yeah, I don't know. I don't get the catfishing. Apparently there is something where they try to isolate you off the app and they have like multiple conversations.
Is it about like
going
getting
on.
money from you?
So there are actual, again, ChatGPT told me this, but there are actual scams that people
Okay.
run.
That
There's a
makes
lot
sense.
of like military type ones where there's also ones where people will try and extort for money, like, oh, I'm having money problems. And all of these involve isolating off the app and then getting like very emotionally connected to you very fast. So I think
makes
that's
sense.
why he was asking me about my star sign. And that's why he's asking me about all these things.
I love Aquarius.
What's your rising in your family? I was like, what man says that?
Right? I know.
Stop it. Yeah, just weird. It wasn't a catfish situation, but this person lied to me. And again, like I have raised the age range like 10 years plus.
Okay.
Because that's what was
But how
recommended to me.
like how young would you go? Are you bigger?
No.
Why not?
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I'm not single. I don't know like that well.
It does not interest me whatsoever. What are we going to talk about? I don't get men that 20-something-year-old.
No, totally. However, I
mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
I just remember being single, and maybe just because I was young at the time, I didn't need you to talk back if I liked to look at you. I wouldn't even give them real names. Like I would be like, motorcycle boy is coming to pick me up tonight. My friends would be like, really?
I'm just in a different faith.
Fair.
Like, it would be nice to have like an actual connection.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know, that's
would
what
you
my
like to
20s
settle
were
down?
for.
Are we
love
looking to
that.
settle down?
I would love that.
Okay.
Yeah. I would also like love to have a lot of space and quiet. So I'm like constantly kind of torn.
Is it Audrey Hepburn? Who's the actress that was like, I think men and women should just like buy houses next to each other and just like live in them.
I would just want my own room.
Okay.
Like I would want to be able to have like,
sure.
And for someone who like has absolutely no say in just in anything that I do. If that makes sense. Yeah. Like I don't want to tell you where and what I'm doing.
I don't know if that is totally compatible with marriage, but look, as somebody who is in a happy marriage, who we also are very independent, I get it, right? My husband and I are like, you do you, and I'm gonna do me, and then like we'll meet up when we meet up.
I don't know, maybe write down exactly.
I don't think it's that like unrealistic. I can speak for myself only, obviously, but I am in a very happy marriage. But like I said, we're very independent people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we both have. I love jiu-jitsu.
Mhm.
I can watch jiu-jitsu all the time. I love going to events. My husband kind of hit his limit on how many jiu-jitsu events he can attend.
That's a lot.
And so like his thing is like, why don't you go to all the jiu-jitsu events that you want and I'll support it, but I'm gonna
From
say
afar.
here. And also he's into like very like metal, like very hardcore metal shit,
God.
and he loved going to concerts. And I'm like, I think that's wonderful for you.
Look at you guys. You're a match made in heaven.
why don't you go to your concerts with your friends and I'm going to stay home and watch Flow Grappling. And then like, I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, I'll see you for bedtime, maybe.
Yeah, see you for bedtime. We'll go out to dinner. Like, we'll go get breakfast together. But like, we both have our own obsession.
Yeah, that's
And we
cool.
allow that. You know what I mean?
I think that is very healthy.
Yeah.
And
But he knows better than to ask me to go to a concert with him. And I have learned to know better than to ask him to come to more grappling events with me.
that's fair. I love that for you guys.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I did talk him, like, I went to the fights, the MVP fight, which I was sitting up with all the people. And I can guarantee you that all the people don't care about the technique the way that we do. Like, it was all about, like, knock him out, bro. That's all they wanted. That's why that promotion worked.
I think what they do is they make MMA and boxing very palatable for casual fans. They bring interest and intrigue and entertainment to people that may not otherwise watch. I think that they,
They have a place.
they do.
They have a place.
place.
Because the nerds maybe will keep paying, but also we want to see the really intense, like, technical fights.
Yes. Yeah, I get that.
A lot of people just want to see Ngannou knock out a combat karate. Yeah, that was my favorite moment of any post-fight interview. So are you going back to combat karate?
I did not hear a lot of like the post-fight interviews. I heard they were very long. Very long. But there was also a lot of space to be filled.
There was. What was that? What happened in between? Or what? My take on that with the little amateur shows that I've worked on is they were spreading it out for time.
Yeah. So they have a fulfillment for the broadcast, and all of the fight that happened
so fast,
very quickly. So they had a ton of space.
You think they'd have like filler, like backup?
You would think that, but it was all on Helwani to carry that forward.
Backup fights, fillers.
Yeah, swing bouts. What we call it.
Oh, okay. I did not know that word. Interesting.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes a fight will, maybe the fights will go too long or too short, or something will happen, and then one of the undercard fights will have to go like on the back end.
That makes
sense.
sense.
We'll have to move one to the front end, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. That happens on grappling tournaments where you're like, oh, we're at the finals, but these guys have to recover, so we need like filler fight, super fight in between. What's the best promotion you've ever worked for?
UFC.
UFC?
Hands down.
By the way they treated you, or what? Like, what's the metrics that you are basing that on?
Being functional. They have people for every department. You don't have to think about it or do anything. There's always someone to pick you up from the airport. Your tickets will always be paid for.
Okay.
Just everything's taken care of. You have food during fight week. You have access to
like meal prep during fight week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Even so they have, I don't know who they have now, but they had Thrive and one other meal prep company, and they will give you meal preps for 8 weeks out once you've signed a BAB agreement.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Nice.
You have a lot of access. The challenge is that if you don't live in Vegas, it can be challenging. If you don't make enough money to move your whole camp to Vegas, take care of all that stuff, or move your camp, it can be kind of challenging because the PR is amazing. I feel like the fighters that move Vegas or move their camps to Vegas have definitely a
really cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew about like the travel. I had a friend who
and visas are taken care of. Just everything.
That makes sense though.
Like you don't have to worry about anything. They got it.
Favorite place that you've traveled to fight? Japan. We'll go on.
So this is before the UFC days, but I was approached by shootboxing to fight their organization sweetheart Reina in Japan on like 7 days. So me and one of my teammates just we flew to Japan. I had to cut weight as soon as I got there. I made weight and fought. I had never seen shootboxing before, really. I didn't know all of the rules. And I mean, back then, there weren't a lot of videos about it up
Shoot,
online
yeah.
to kind of.
What's the rules of that?
Shoot boxing is kickboxing with takedown.
Kickbox, but no grappling.
There's no grappling. You can kind of do standing submissions, but as soon as the person, like, their knees touch the ground or anything touches the ground, it stands back
What's
up.
the point of a takedown if you can't stay there and fight?
Points. So you can get shoot points. So high velocity takedowns,
Mm-hmm.
like judo throws, big, any kind of like big velocity kind of throws will get you with shoot points.
Interesting.
And so while the scorecards are going on, if you get those points, those look good. So
But they'll reset you if you take somebody down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you don't always really get points if I like trip somebody.
Okay.
Like that's no
Has to be style.
It does.
Okay.
So I went over there. I fought 3 rounds, and again, I was well rounded, but I was primarily like a grappler, and I was fighting, somebody that they brought me in to lose against. Obviously, I'm like walking down the hallways, and her banners all over the place. She's adorable, so cute, really, good striker. And we just did 3 rounds, and again, this is short notice, so I've been very tired and jet lagged, all of those things. I remember I was sitting on the bench and my cornerman, Paul, he's like, "Hey, you're going an extension round." I was like, "What is that?" I didn't know. I did not know there were extension rounds in shoot boxing. But they're like, "Yeah, it's a more majority draw. Oh, so you're going to go again." I was like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Sure."
Wait, an additional round or an additional match?
Round.
After how many?
It was 3.
And then
That was supposed to be the fight.
Okay. And then they added an extension round.
Yes. And I was like, "No." He's like,
You have no choice.
He's like, "Get up right now." Like, fine. I was so tired. And then I got up and I did it. And then they called in another draw.
Wait, was it Infinity like extension round?
So apparently, back in the day when it was first created, you could do as many extension rounds as it took. And so it was messing with me because
for sure. Because then you don't know where the end is. Yeah, you don't. Where's the gas tank? You don't know how to like pace yourself.
Yeah. So I had to find my fuck it, and I had to pout first though.
For sure.
I had to express my emotion, and then I went to the 5th extension round, the 2nd extension round, so 5 rounds total, and I ended up getting a big throw, and I got the shoot point. So I won. But it was like a majority decision. Like
Because they really wanted
her to win. And then it was crazy dramatic. It was the best fight experience of my whole life. Like, I will never forget that because I learned like what I was made of. And I learned who I was.
Yeah.
And I've always been very grateful for that experience. I am so grateful to fighting, to like every aspect of combat sports, because I don't think a lot of people get to like truly know who they are.
Yeah.
And it's
I talk to my team about that a lot, which is if you want to know who you are, go into a space. And for us, it's, here in the room and grappling, where it's only you and another person. Teaches you everything, how you handle adversity, but also how you handle being the best. Like, how graceful are you in winning? How do you handle being tapped out by somebody that you did not believe that you should be tapped out by? How can you work through those really hard moments? Like, there's no lying on the mats or in a cage or like any of those places where it's just you.
No, it repeatedly holds up the mirror for me.
Yeah.
Some days I handle it better than others.
1000%. Same. Yeah.
It's sometimes it's way more challenging. Sometimes I think that's why I've had kind of up and down career too. I've let what's in between my ears just really affect me more than what was going on.
Biggest battle we'll all have. Have you had this moment yet because you're retired and because of who you are, like in the timeline of the sport? Have you considered like what a small percentage of people you are in company with, and what does that feel like?
It has always been really challenging to me to appreciate any kind of a goal that I've achieved or anything that I've done. But I think now that I'm removed from it and I miss it, I'm very appreciative. So cool. It's like really.
Like historically, like people are going to be riding. You know what I mean? Like that's gotta be a thing.
It is. I mean, I can get really like overcritical and judgy and say that I didn't do everything that I wanted to and coulda, woulda, shoulda done better and all these things. But honestly, like I it,
Yeah.
and I did something that not a lot of people have done. I
Or
was
will ever
one of the
be able
first
to
to
do.
do it.
Yeah.
I was the first ever for a lot of things.
Name a couple.
The first ever Invicta FC champion
Yeah,
of
you
our
were.
organization, their first ever atomweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the first season of The Ultimate Fighter that had two, that had all women.
Yeah.
And I was the part of the first crew of 100 UFC.
Yeah.
I was the first ever part of the first ever female Bellator fight match. I think there's a few others, but those are pretty cool. I was Lucas Leitch's first ever female black belt.
That's
Yes.
was the Ultimate Fighter the first time you'd ever have female coaches?
We didn't have female coaches.
Weren't Rhonda and Misha the coach?
Oh,
Was that a later
that was
season?
a different season. Anthony Pettis was my coach, and then Gilbert Melendez was
Okay,
position.
I remember that. Sure.
And they were great.
Yeah.
They were really
Which team
great.
were you on?
I was on Team Pettis.
Okay. Did he teach you the Showtime kick?
They did. They he and Sergio were there for like the whole filming, and they were just really awesome. Like
That's
Sergio was our honorary female training partner.
Okay.
He got in there in the trenches with us. So did a few of the other guys that were just really like amazing and supportive too. It was a very nice group.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So now that you are officially on Misbehaved Women, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with this podcast? Like, what can people expect?
I think people can expect us to just be very authentic and honest about our life experiences, our views about combat sports from our perspective. Of course, relationship experiences, because I have plenty. I'm just dating for stories at this point.
Do it for the gram.
Do it for I think that we can just and we can really support and progress combat sports for women and for men.
Yeah.
We have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge about it, and I think that the sport, can be supported by it.
Yeah, I love that. Let's do something fun.
Okay.
So I was on the La podcast. I can't remember the name of it, but she's a reality TV star. It's on her podcast once, and they did this cute thing at the end where they talked about their first world problems, and I think they called it Icon Relief. So what's something good that happened this week for you? But what's like a first world problem that you had? And I'll do the same.
Oh my God, you have to go first. I don't know.
Okay. Well, what was something good that happened this? I got to go to the Padres game with my team. Got a whole bunch of seats with the Padres game. It was Star Wars night. That was a lot of fun. First world problem. That's my biggest first world problem that I had this week. So early to go coach yesterday. It made me so tired. Sucked.
I don't know. So a good thing that happened. I started. One of my girlfriends came down to the ranch where I board my horses, and she's helping with a lot of because I have 3 horses. This
Sounds like a lot of work.
It was ambitious of me, especially for somebody who did not grow up with horses. But I just kind of I say yes, and then I figure it out. That's kind of how I've always been. But she's helping me do a lot of groundwork with them. And yesterday we went on a really nice long ride, and I saw the work. I noticed a big difference, especially I have a thoroughbred named Bella, and she's very high strung, very powerful, very special girl. And I saw it actually making a difference, and that made me very, very proud. And then a first problem. you know what? I decided that it was too much effort to go to Macau.
Oh, okay.
To go to Macau, China, because the person that was offering to get me a ticket, uh, the person that was offering to pay my way to go, uh, was going to make me have to figure out too much other travel information. So I just
It's too much.
it's like, it's too
Go to
much.
Macau. On that
Now that
note,
I said that out loud, I'm embarrassed,
it's
but
okay. You know what? It's okay.
there's just too much.
It's just too much.
It's just me.
I hear you. On that note, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm happy.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.